1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honey Bee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Precious D.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Honey Bee.
Honeybee and I are two best friends making our way through the history of kaiju movies. We started in 1933 with King Kong, and now, today, we're at 2015 with a little piece of shit from the goddamn asylum called Three-Headed Shark Attack. This is the second of the multi-headed shark movies. We still have 5 and 6-headed shark attacks to look forward to, and they have announced, Jesus Christ, a 15th anniversary special titled 15-Headed Shark Attack.
No!
Which is aiming for a 2027 release. That's just insane.
My word.
That is an unmanageable number of heads. Jesus. Let's see. It's from 2015. It is 89 minutes in English in color. It's direct-to-video, so there's no box office or budget listed. It was also on the Sci-Fi Channel. I assume the Sci-Fi Channel must show slightly edited versions of these movies, because they do not, to my knowledge, and from what I was able to research, show boobies on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Lame.
But these things do have DVD releases, so I guess the unedited version goes on the DVD. There's some boobies in the beginning of this movie, and then they go away.
I know. It's like the first 6 minutes, we get like 3 pairs of boobs, and then that's it.
But very easily edited out ones. We'll get to that in a minute. Our cast. It's a long cast. Danny Trejo as Max Burns.
Woo!
Karuchi Tran as Maggie Peterson. She's on the poster, along with Rob Van Dam. Jason Simmons as Dr. Ted Nelson. He apparently was on Baywatch, so that makes sense that he's in this movie. I'm sure that's why they got him. Rob Van Dam, no relation. He is a wrestler. That is a stage name. He is Stanley, who doesn't show up till pretty late in the movie. Though he shows up earlier than Danny Trejo does, I think. No, about the same time. Jenna Sims as Dr. Laura Thomas. Did you recognize Jenna Sims?
I don't think so.
I didn't either, but we've seen her. She was the 50-foot cheerleader.
No way!
Yep, which explains the boobs. Because she takes her clothes off for no reason. I mean, we'll come back to that. I mean, there's a reason, but not a necessary. Jesus. Brad Mills as Greg. Scott Reynolds as Ryan Bennett. Rico Ball as Omar. Dawn Hamill as Allison. Bob Constance as Brad. James Poole as Brian. Stephen Norris as Steve. Larry Garnold Jr. as Dr. Leonard. Mark Nager as Seth. Preston Simmons as Zach. Stephen Harwick as Mark. Jazzy Berlin as Polly. Anna Mercedes Morris as Sasha. Kayla Campbell as Lindsay. Brianna Ferris as Rosemary Grant. She's important. She gets 2 names. Nestor Fuentes as Maurice. Carlos Rivera as Howard Grant. He also gets a last name. Jacqueline Schmidt as Vanessa. Eric C. Schmitz as Betts. Scott Warner as Sandoval. And Cody Lee as Tyler. Cody as Tyler. That's a very... what is that? Millennial name set there, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, I do not remember that many people in this movie.
Yeah, there's a bunch on the party boat. Maybe they all have names.
Okay,
There's
okay.
a fair amount of people in the lab. There's people on the beach at the beginning. Honeybee, what are your initial thoughts on three-headed shark attack?
Oh, balls. Well, it starts as any asylum movie starts on open water, so I was like, all right, here we go. But then I saw Danny Trejo's name in the opening credits, and I was like, oh, shit. They really got Danny Trejo. So I was kind of excited for that. But, it is exactly what you expect it to be. There was a lot of boobies in the beginning, and I was happy about that. But it was only the first 6 minutes, and then, I was like, okay. But yeah, it's an asylum film. I feel like if we can do this piece of shit, I'm kind of sad that we didn't do, like, Deep Blue Sea, where it's like, big shark. But I guess it's not exactly, I don't know. We're going to do, like, the Megan shit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think to count as a kaiju, it just needs to hit a certain size. And
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea are smart sharks, but not big sharks.
Well, they are big. They're just
They're
not.
But I don't think they're abnormally, unnaturally.
Well, they are a little bit. They're bigger than they're like like they're supposed to be, but they're just not. They do get bigger. They kind of but whatever. It's not. Yeah, I just because I hate the whole premise of like this, where it's like there's this like underwater science facility, even though this one is to study garbage. It just like I'm just like I'm annoyed that we've seen this premise over and over again, and it just like I just feel like no one does it as good as Deep Blue Sea does it.
Yeah,
but anyways,
true.
Well,
One
thing. Oh, go ahead.
My friend Enid and I, hi Enid, if you're listening, we had 2 rules in life. The second one came from Deep Blue Sea. Rule number 1: don't shake the baby.
Okay.
Because at that time there was numerous stories in the press of somebody, accidentally, in quotes, accidentally killing their baby by
Allegedly.
shaking it. Shaking baby syndrome. Mm-hmm. If the baby's crying, shaking the baby is not going to help. It's going to get you in a lot of trouble. And rule number 2: don't make sharks smarter.
Very true.
Follow those 2 rules in life, and everything will be cream cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Now I gotta say, I enjoy boobies as much as the next guy, but when they're in a movie like this and it's just so gratuitous, it kind of gets on my nerves. Cause it's just cheap and it's exploitive, but also I guess it's one thing when people are on the beach, they're taking their tops off, or there's a couple in the tent that are, getting busy. But when we have this scene with the doctor changing out of her wetsuit into her underwear, or that is, and she's getting a call on the intercom to come meet her new intern or something. But this is just so unnecessary and gratuitous, and even the information of meeting the intern, well, we don't need that because she's going to be introduced in the next scene, and we get all the information that we need. It's just so, I don't know. I guess I'm saying try to work your nudity in a little more organically, a little more supported by what's going on.
Have some creativity, you buffoons.
Yeah, or just make porn and just don't pretend you're making something else. Just do, if that's what you want to do, then just do that. I don't know. Yeah, and it's just, another sign of the low quality of asylum films. It was certainly a principle of a certain type of slasher movie that you had to have a death every 20 minutes and show some boobs every 20 minutes. But then this movie doesn't even do that. It just, after the first 6 minutes, well, we're done with that.
Yeah, we get it all in the beginning.
But the thing is, because these asylum films are going to live on the Sci-Fi Channel, they have to do it in such a way that it can be easily removed and not affect the plot. But I think they've successfully done that. You can remove all of that. Just cut those scenes out entirely in the movie. It won't affect the movie in any way. Well, let's get to the plot, such as it is. And I actually made some notes on this one. First note was boobs. Second note was the shark looks better than the two-headed shark.
It definitely does, yeah.
It did not look hollow. They put a little bit more money into the CGI. Or CGI got cheaper, I don't know. A three-headed, this is from Wikipedia, thank you, Wikipedia. A three-headed great white shark attacks an atoll where a group of teenagers is partying, killing all of them except one, Mark, who was on a buoy while the rest of the teens were at the beach. They kept yelling at him to get back, but he actually made the right choice.
I was like, but also, like, how does this schmuck get out of the water? Like, he's in between all of his friends and this, like, three-headed shark. I'm like, this poor guy. Like,
he died of exposure out there. He never did get Yeah. So, let's see. The shark then attacks the Persephone, an underwater research facility studying the Pacific garbage patch. The resulting damage causes the facility to explode, killing everybody inside. However, they're telling the story a little backwards. However, marine biologists Ted Nelson and Laura Thomas escape. A group of activists touring the lab, consisting of Greg, Ryan, Bennett, Omar, Allison, and college graduate Maggie Peterson, who applied for a job at the facility, also escape. So, yeah, they're telling this kind of out of order. We established the lab. The Maggie is new intern, but also, I forget what they were called, but they were a Greenpeace type group of young ocean activists, are just being given a tour for no particular reason, I guess, just to learn some stuff. It just seems like it's an afternoon field trip.
Yeah, it's very annoying. And also, I hate the way Maggie says all of her lines. Like, she's like, ha ha ha, these are my lines. My next line is this, and I'm going to say it exactly like I'm reading it, even though I'm not reading it, but I don't know how to say it like I would say, hey Maggie, could you just say the lines like you're normally talking? Oh yeah, sure. Okay, can we take it from the top? Yeah. I am Maggie, and these are my lines. Like, I'm just like, oh God, I just feel like the entire movie she's just like reading from a script, and it drove me insane.
Yeah, well, you might be surprised to know then that she won a Daytime Emmy Award.
Oh, Lord.
For something called The Bay.
Well, maybe she had figured it out by then.
Drama series. That was 2016, so it was...
Yay. Okay.
And
maybe
she also
got an
won,
acting coach or something.
She's won multiple Daytime Emmys for acting. Also for producing, but she has won them for acting.
Well, so. I think maybe this was one of her first things, and she hadn't quite mastered it yet, and I am proud of her for getting it because, it was driving me banana sandwich.
Yeah, no, she's bad in this, but then we've seen other good people be bad in these movies.
Yeah, so. For sure. And also, would like to say, before this even happens, and we see the three-headed shark in the first few minutes of the movie, and this gets me in every fucking asylum film where there's like a person standing knee deep in water and it's like 2 feet deep, and the three-headed shark attacks them in 3 feet deep, 2 feet deep water, and no one ever sees it coming.
Yeah. They also like to just leap up onto the beach and then have no problem flinging themselves back into the water when they're done. These sharks are so hungry. What is wrong with them? They just have a really high metabolism. It's not feasible. Okay, so anyway, we meet all these people. We find out that Maggie and Greg used to date, and hey, you look great. And you're like, okay, whatever, man.
And she's like, oh, have you gained weight?
Yeah, he seems more. They don't go into detail about why they broke up. It just kind of seems like school was over or something.
Well, he dropped out. He mentions that
Oh,
when
okay.
he dropped out of college.
That's right, to become an activist, I guess. Anyway, he just seems, I don't know if excited is quite the right word, but he certainly seems happy to see her, and she seems annoyed. She's like, oh no, it's my ex. This is gonna be awkward. But he's all like, hey, how you doing? Yeesh. Okay, let's see. The island the facility is based on begins to flood, and the group swims out to the activist boat. This is so bad.
Oh, wait.
I don't know
but
why.
But first, when they're doing the tours, they come to this like little room where we see all the little like mutation fish.
Yes. Yeah.
And they give
little-
this like speech about how like all the garbage is like 1 out of 4, or like 1 out of 5, or whatever it is, like mutations, blah blah blah. I guess it's just like setting us up to understand why there's this 3-headed shark, but it's so annoying and so stupid because it's these tiny little fish like attacking each other, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's really pissed off." Like, first of all, shut the fuck up, and second of all, you can't fucking tell if a fish is pissed off. Like, just
Well, well, the one little guy was like attacking the glass, trying to get at the people.
he was
outside
like
the
barely
glass.
tapping it.
Excuse me. That was one of my notes. Pollution causing mutation. I was like, oh, is it? I mean, I guess it depends entirely on the kind of pollution it is.
Yeah.
But I just, just some paper and plastic floating around. I'm not sure how that causes mutation, although we don't know what the effects of microplastics are. We just haven't studied them enough. But it seems like you need more like radiation or I hate to say chemicals because everything is chemicals, but you know what I mean. Certain toxic chemicals pouring directly into the certainly in a river and a lake. Ocean's so big it's hard to, yeah. Let's talk about this garbage patch briefly. The Pacific Garbage Patch. No, this is a real thing, but it is. People have this perception of it being this giant island of floating garbage, and that's how they show it in the movie. And it's not that. It covers a great area, but it's very low density. So it's like 4 particles per cubic meter. You can pass through it and not even realize that you're there. I'm not saying it isn't something to be concerned about and something we should be doing something about, but the way it's portrayed in the popular culture is just this huge thing that you can see from outer space that you could almost walk on. That's just not what it is. It might be easier to clean up if that's what it were. Like, there it is, just go scoop it up. So anyway, I didn't get that the island was flooding. I was a little confused about why do you think it's safer to swim out to that boat than just stay
Yes.
where you are on land?
Seriously.
But they were panicking because one person was going to swim out and try and bring the boat closer, but then they couldn't do it, didn't know how to work the boat. Like, then why did you go?
And
then Omar's-
before this, a shark attacks a guy on the toilet.
That's right. Just came up through the underwater. A guy in the underwater base. He just, I guess, followed the sewer line into the. It made no sense.
No
Looked pretty
sense.
cool, but it made no sense.
Yeah.
So Omar tries to swim out and gets eaten. And then some of them do make it out there, but then I guess they're just not able to get it closer. So Laura, our 50-foot cheerleader, tries to swim out and she gets eaten. And I was like, no, Dr. Boobs, no. I just thought she was going to make it long. Well, but I mean, if this were a slasher movie, then I would have expected her to get killed because she showed her boobs. Although she was in private when she did it. So, but those are slasher rules. If you alcohol, drugs, or sex, you get killed. Just changing out of your wetsuit shouldn't get you killed, but you did it in front of the camera, so you're gone. It's the director's fault. Don't kill me. let's see, where are we? Laura and Omar are eaten in the process. The others reach the ship. The shark follows them as they drive. Ryan manages to contact fisherman Max Burns over the radio and asks for help. That's Danny Trejo. They're just doing a mayday, mayday. Burns is hesitant to believe them. Mayday, mayday, we're being attacked by a three-headed shark. He's like, what?
He's like, what are you kids smoking out there?
Yeah. Reluctantly agrees to help them. They're just a fishing boat, I believe. The shark begins to head towards a party boat carrying teenagers. The group attempts to warn them, but they are too late as the shark consistently rams into the ship, knocking numerous people onto the water where they are eaten. This is another one of my notes I have here. An earlier note I had in the underwater facility. I noticed an exit sign in the hallway, and I was like, what? I mean, obviously they're just filming in some office building. They're not in an underwater facility, but I'm like, what? No, you can't just walk out that door.
That is hilarious.
You're gonna flood. Don't open that. Caution, opening the emergency door may cause the facility to flood. I don't know what this note is. It makes no sense. It looks like it says Braxabad. I don't know.
What?
I have no idea what this note means. I did write toilet kill. Toilet kill. Oh, they did say something about radiation levels for the garbage patch, so I wrote that down because that sounded stupid. Why is the garbage patch radioactive? And there was lots of staring and reacting when they're on the beach, and in asylum films in general. Nothing was really happening, but everybody's staring off into the distance, acting like something's happening. And yeah, I wrote, why do they think they're going to die? Because they didn't make it clear that the island was flooding. And why is the island flooding? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't have any answers.
Omar! Exclamation point. He had 3 lines and then he got eaten.
And what was with the weird fucking doctor at the very beginning? Like, what happened with him where they're like, oh, Dr. Leonard's weird around people. And then I'm like, did we ever even see that fucking guy again?
Maybe he got killed on the toilet? I'm not sure.
I don't think, no, because I think the guy who got killed on the toilet was a black guy and Dr. Leonard was a white guy.
Oh, I'm not sure.
It just seemed like important at the beginning of the film. Like they walk in and he like sees them and then just turns around and walks off and they're like, oh, that's Dr. Leonard. He's just weird around people. And I was like, okay, like it just seemed like it was going to be a thing. And then it just never, like we just never saw him again. Right.
Yeah. They established his character and a character trait and then didn't follow up on it at all.
It was so weird.
Well, the reason for it is that this is a bad movie. But the note I wanted to get to is somebody in the crew of the party boat says, these damn kids get so crazy on these things. And this appeared to me to be a very sedate party. Nobody was getting crazy.
There was just dancing.
Yeah.
Regular party things.
Yeah, there was appeared to be alcoholic beverages, but no one was behaving like they were drunk. The dancing was very Peanuts. It was Peanuts level dancing. To a repetitive, vaguely Jamaican song. It kind of had a reggae beat, but no lyrics whatsoever, and it just kept repeating the same 8 to 16 bars over and over again. New from KTEL, background music from movies. Do you have a dance party in your movie? Do you need something cheap with no lyrics to drown out the dialogue? It's Dance Party for Movies. Jesus. So, the ship's getting attacked, and then the captain's like, the ship's going down. There's no life rafts.
Like, what? Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Not we don't have enough life rafts. There are none.
There's none.
whatsoever.
We didn't think anything could go wrong on this party boat full of
Yeah.
teenagers and alcohol. So
Yeah. Ugh. So let's see. A bunch of people get knocked in the water and are eaten. The group manages to board the boat in order to help injured passengers, and Maggie and Nelson are enlisted as help by passenger Stanley and Rosemary Grant to find Rosemary's boyfriend Howard. No, her husband. They have the same last name in the credits. He had So Rosemary apparently is somebody important because there's some conversation with somebody else. He's like, Miss Grant. And she's like, no, I told you to call me Rosemary. So I think it's her party on the party boat.
yeah, but she's like the bartender. I was really confused about this part too, where it's like, call me whatever. It was like she's like looks like the same age as them and stuff. So why were they calling her by her last name anyway? I don't know. It was very weird.
I think she is the host of the party. I think she's paid for all this. And it's her. They don't make it clear if it's somebody's birthday or what. But she's just acting like she's more important than everybody, and her fucking husband is more important than everybody. Because I was like, dozens of people get killed, but they saved Howard, so yay. Let's see. He has disappeared into the abandoned dining area during the chaos. Maggie, Stanley, and Nelson. So Stanley, he's the big wrestler guy who is just... I don't know what his job is exactly. If he's her bodyguard or something. He just seems like a guy that's on the boat. But he's big, so he can pick things up, you know. Let's see. Maggie, Stanley, and Nelson find him and make their way to the top deck. Although in the process, the shark jumps onto the back of the boat and eats Nelson. The group realizes they can no longer stay due to the ship sinking and board the activists' boat with Stanley, Rosemary, and Howard in tow. However, Ryan stays behind and attempts to kill the shark by jumping onto its back with an axe. I actually enjoyed this part. I think I even wrote down Ryan. Fuck yeah. Ryan shark surfing. Yeah, okay, I have our heroes fuck off. Ryan shark surfing. So yeah, he jumps off the boat with a, overhead axe blow to the shark, and then the shark is the axe is embedded in the back of the shark, and he kind of rides the shark for a while, but eventually the shark is able to do a little tail flip and knock him
Buck him off.
Knack him. But that was, I think, the coolest part of the movie. So, yes, shark soon kills him in retaliation. Running low on fuel, the group is forced to stop at the atoll the sharks attacked earlier. Meanwhile, Burns and his two men attempt to kill the shark. That's Danny Trejo. And Burns' men are killed in the process. Burns manages to decapitate the shark's middle head, and my note here is machete kills. Because he does it with a machete, and that is on purpose.
Of course
I'm
he
certain.
does. Of course.
Yeah,
Just Danny Trejo doing some Danny Trejo shit.
Yeah. So it seems like he's killed it. Burns finds the rest of the group. Surprisingly, the shark recovers, grows 3 more heads in place of the missing heads, and then, speaking of Deep Blue Sea, just as he's giving a inspirational speech, the shark chomps him.
No.
So yeah, we're dealing now with some kind of a Hydra shark. With a Hydra, you cut its head off and it grows 2 more. This one grows 3 more. Jesus. Excuse me. I got the burps. Traumatized by Burns' death, the group runs inland, meeting Mark. Maggie theorizes that the shark is attracted to pollution, and that the heads are becoming more aggressive with each other. Yeah, well, earlier they said it's being attracted by the pollution of the bigger boat. I'm like, what? They're not just throwing their cans off the side of the boat or anything. I don't think. What pollution is it being attracted to? Just
Is it maybe like the
exhaust?
engine? Yeah, like the exhaust
guess.
or something.
I guess, but that seems unlikely to me. I mean, this whole movie's very unlikely. Let's see. So she theorizes the shark is attracted to pollution and that the heads are becoming more aggressive with each other. The group finds 2 motorboats and begins to drive away from the island. The shark attacks one of them, carrying Allison, Rosemary, Howard, and Mark, and kills all of them. So it's good thing we went to all that trouble to save Howard. Meanwhile, Maggie, Stanley, and Greg managed to attract the shark's attention by throwing garbage bags into the water because there was just a bunch of garbage bags on the speedboat. Stanley's hand is bitten off in the process. No, not Stanley. Losing faith, Stanley sacrifices himself by allowing the shark heads to fight over him, resulting in 3 of the shark's heads getting bitten off, and the shark itself dies of blood loss. Why didn't it just regenerate 3 more heads? 9 more heads total. Why? I guess it just
only Danny
lost too
Trejo
much
has the magic power,
yeah.
magic touch.
I guess it just bled out before it had time to do that. I don't know. Maggie and Greg rekindle their relationship as a helicopter arrives to rescue them. I'm not sure that's the right way
Disgusting.
to phrase. I wouldn't phrase it that way. They're just. It's not like they have a relationship. I mean, a discussion about their relationship. While we're waiting for the helicopter, do you think we should start seeing each other again? Maybe give it another chance? No, they just have a hug.
So crazy running into you here. I was thinking maybe you'd like to go back to my place after this wash all the shark guts off of us.
I made the biggest mistake in my life when I let you go. Please, give me another chance. Chomp. Finding this 3-headed shark has really made me realize what's important in life. They have an embrace. Maybe there's a kiss. I don't remember.
No, I think it's just an embrace.
She just acknowledges that she's not completely grossed out to see him, is what happens.
Yeah, because they've just been trauma bonded for life.
Yeah, yes, she's happy that her ex-boyfriend isn't dead.
Yeah, the only person out of the whole movie that's not dead.
I know we broke up, but I didn't want to see you get eaten by a 3-headed shark.
Which, honestly, as soon as I met the guy, I was hoping he would go first.
Yeah, he should have. Instead, Omar and Dr. Boobs. Well, Toilet Guy went first, I guess.
Yeah, which, honestly, I think Toilet Guy was my favorite death. Because it looked stupid. Oh, no. You know what? One of my favorites, though, was the guy at the very beginning when they're like, get out of the water. Not at the very beginning, but after they've, like, met all the people. And he's like, oh, I think there's, like, a whale over here, you guys. Far out. Look at this fucking whale, so cool. And then right. He's like, they all see the 3-headed shark, and he's in knee deep water, and the shark just dives up, and then dives directly down, and somehow goes all the way down, even though the guy is standing up to his knees in water.
Right. It burrows down into the sand a little bit so it can get a good angle.
Yeah, I guess so.
That guy, they kept yelling at him to come on, get in, and he's like, oh, no, it's fine, it's cool. I guess he was high. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's high because he's like, far out, bro.
There were at least 2 points where we got a 3-fer in this movie, where all 3 heads chomped a separate person.
Yeah, which we have to, like, that was, like, the biggest, what I was waiting for, because in the 2-headed shark, everyone was dying in pairs. They, like, had to be 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2.
So we get one in the beginning, and then we get one, I think, on the boat. Another note I had is girl in the middle is really posing it up. That must be the other chomp. There was a group of them standing together, just sort of waiting for the shark to come chomp them. And the girl in the middle was very much posing for a poster or something. The other people were just kind of standing there, but she sort of had her back arched and her arms sort of back a little bit and turned to the side, a little 3/4 shot. And I'm like, what are you doing? I know you're trying to look good for your kill shot here,
Felt cute. Might get eaten by a
It
shark
looks-
later.
Yeah, it looks unnatural. Hashtag blast. Hashtag chomped. Oh, Judas Priest.
It was pretty bad, but I will say the shark did look way better in this movie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Honeybee, what are you going to rate Three-Headed Shark Attack?
I don't know. I guess a 1.
Yes, it's not. It doesn't get 3-star Shark Attack. It is a 1-star Shark Attack.
3 heads, 1 star. The real star of this movie is Danny, Just happy to see him. Always happy to see him.
Yeah. He appears to be very affordable.
Love it.
He's working all the time. He's sort of a modern Roddy McDowall or Donald Pleasance, or those back in the 70s. If you didn't have much of a budget, but you wanted to add a little bit of class to your movie, a little bit of talent, you could probably afford to hire either Roddy McDowall or Donald Pleasance. And they would be willing to do it. So, at James Earl Jones, to an extent, he just liked to work a lot and did some movies that he probably didn't need to do. He just did because he had the time and liked to work. So I see Danny Trejo's kind of like that.
Yeah, I
happy to
just really love his story and just like how he like loves other people, and I just adore that man.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great example of how the way things start doesn't have to be how they end.
Yeah.
People can change and people can turn their lives around. So good for him. But I'm sorry he was in this movie. I mean, I'm glad he was in it because it's good to see him. But also, you can probably afford to be a little picky, Danny.
He was definitely the best part about the movie for me. I mean, like I was just excited to see him. So
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today, folks.
Hey.
If you enjoy the show, please like and subscribe and rate and review us. Check out our Patreon. Don't forget Kaiju Go is coming up in a few months.
Yay!
Go to kaijugo.com to check it out. Get all the details. Get your tickets if you are in or will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth vicinity.
Yeah, come and
Come
see us. And all of the free things.
Yeah. But until next week's movie. So this movie, if you want to watch this piece of shit, I think it's on Tubi and probably Peacock and other things. Yeah. Next week's movie is Colossal. Much better movie.
Much better movie.
But it is also streaming on, I think, multiple things. Which I was a little surprised, because usually when they're on multiple things, it's because it's a cheap piece of shit. But, no, maybe it's just on Tubi. I'm just seeing it on Tubi now, but I thought I had seen it. There's actually good stuff on Tubi. It's not all Asylum crap.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff. There's some good stuff on there. Anyway, we'll be back to talk about that next week. I recommend you check it out. Until then, I've been Precious D.
And I've been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.